Alright. Alrighty.
Kind of a piece of timeline and kind of behavior as well too.
According to Betty, the family typically had dinner together on the weekends,
Relax.
and although Keith and Amber
Relax, bud.
occasionally argued, things never turned physical, at least not to her knowledge. But with no parents home, officers still couldn't legally enter the residence, so they continued speaking with Betty, hoping she'd reveal something that could explain Amber's sudden disappearance. Betty explained that Amber was highly active in the community, volunteering at her children's elementary school as the treasurer of the parent organization, and everyone around town knew her as a family-first mother, spending most of her time with her children. That's why Amber's disappearance was so puzzling. It simply wasn't like her to spontaneously leave her kids alone. But this confusion would only heighten when Betty showed officers something that made the case even more unsettling. A note suggesting Amber might have harmed herself.
The note is what concerns
Do you mind if I read that?
I don't have a problem with
Is this
it.
a copy of it or is this?
Yes, I made a copy. I don't know if this is the original.
Okay.
I didn't want to...
Just from my report, I'm going to have to take the original for evidence for property at some point, okay?
Okay.
But I'm going to sit and read this in the meantime.
The note Betty had discovered earlier read in part,
I haven't been the best wife. I deserve everything and all the horrible thoughts you think of me. I have always had it in my mind. Make sure my mom has to identify my body. Everyone would be better off
What the fuck?
without me.
I'm just cleaning my bong here, boys.
The note appears as a tragic, heartfelt goodbye. Amber seemingly detailing years of self-doubt, despair, and emotional pain. But something about this note didn't align with what police knew about Amber. According to her mother, whenever Amber and Keith fought, Amber always stayed at her parents' house and had never just disappeared. Certainly not without contacting her family first. And although Betty clarified that her daughter had a history of self-harm ideation and emotional struggles, the note's tone sounded off. Especially the disturbingly specific instructions for her own mother to identify her body, which seemed strangely cruel. To investigators, these unusual details hinted at the chilling possibility that the note wasn't exactly what it appeared. They began to suspect Amber might not have written these words freely. Something wasn't right. So based on these signs, officers decided to speak with Betty again, this time on the oddities found inside the note.
Do you think it's something that, would he harm her in any way? Would you have any either information or inkling that that might happen? No, okay. If she had walked away, I mean, I'm just wondering where else or how far she could have gone.
She has walked to our house. We're in 70.
Yeah.
When she's been drinking and can't.
I understand, of course.
She's made it that
I agree.
far.
That's why I'm so concerned.
That's right.
And that's why I searched Sunrise Park, because that's the closest park to here. And I don't know why in my head it's, you're not going to do it in your home. You might do it
Alright. A nice clean dab
Find the note
rig.
strange, but
Let's
doesn't
go.
think Keith would have anything to do with Amber's disappearance. At this point, nothing makes sense. So, without any further clues, officers decide to move to the next step in their investigation, searching the property.
That'll be like one of their first
As we
steps.
know, without the homeowner's permission,
Not necessarily the
officers
first
still
step, but
can't go
one
inside
of.
the house without a proper search warrant. Fortunately, by using the kids, they were able to get on the phone with Amber's husband, Keith, hoping to get the permission they needed.
Meanwhile, Keith's just got a grow lab in the back and shit.
Is this Keith?
Yes, this is Keith.
Keith, this is Officer Crowley with the Aurora Police. How are you?
I'm alright, boss. How are you?
I'd like to go over a couple series of events and then ask you for permission if I could go inside your house. And where we start searches is the last place you was seen, and that would be your house. But I don't have a warrant, and I'm asking you for permission to go inside your house too.
Go ahead, man.
Luckily, Keith seemed to have no problem letting officers search his home. While one officer continued his conversation with Keith, another would immediately begin searching the property, completely unaware they were both minutes away from uncovering the horrifying truth. But before we continue, it's worth noting that covering stories like this, you realize just how much people
Hi.
are forced to carry. Fear, trauma,
Hey.
even the day-to-day burden of
Hey, you want up?
surviving. And sometimes
Come on up.
that weight shows up in other ways too,
Hi.
like debt. Do you feel crushed by debt? Those high-interest loans, that mountain of credit
Hey,
card
Rox.
debt, or even the overwhelming medical bills? All the debt that has been keeping you up at night could be gone quicker than you think. Imagine
Really?
being debt-free, not in 10 years, but in as little as just 2 years. Think about that relief. You can finally feel free. PDS Debt are experts at making this happen. They know precisely how to negotiate with the companies you owe, strategically working to get you a resolution where you owe them significantly less and can be relieved of your debt.
How much do you end up owing these people, though?
Situation to create a personalized plan that
Yo, Thug Duck, that one Canadian, that one Canadian rooster, early as fuck today and yesterday, eh? Yeah, I've been waking up at like really early in the morning, like 4 or 5 o'clock. So I figure get an early morning stream, then go do all the shit I need to do for the day. And if I'm awake later at night, do a stream then. If I'm not, I'm sleeping, you know.
Get your free assessment and find the best option for you right now at pdsdebt.com/insanity. You're just 30 seconds away from starting to get out of debt. That's pdsdebt.com/insanity.
Only 30
That
seconds
said,
away from
let's
getting
get
out
back
of
to the
debt.
investigation. One of the officers was about to search the family's home with no idea just how
Probably
close
more
they
quiet
were
in chat in
to
the morning.
discovering
Oh
the
yeah,
gruesome scene
more quiet for you,
in
sure.
plain sight.
So Keith gave verbal consent for us to go in the house. I'm just gonna go in. If you want to come with me,
I will get
That's alright though. My streams don't really have too much going on in them nowadays anyway, Thug Duck. You know what I mean?
So Keith, in the bigger picture, what's going on?
Man, me and Amber drink a lot, and we fight a lot, and she likes to walk away, or actually drive away, and I took her keys from her, so she couldn't drive away. She grabbed her purse, slammed her phone on the ground, and left, and I have not seen her since.
Did you actually see her leave, or you just assumed she left?
No, sir. I begged her to stay on the couch. We fought a little bit more, and I said, well, whatever, Amber, you sleep out there on the couch, I'm going inside. And I went inside. I don't know, it was like 2 or 3 in the morning, and then when I woke up at 9, 10 o'clock Sunday morning, there was a letter on the fucking coffee table.
Has she ever threatened?
Yeah, did Sean Smith ever come in when it's early?
Yes.
Yeah, Shawnee Boy's been coming in. He was in here yesterday.
That's what I try telling Grandma and Grandpa, too, was she does this to me all the time.
He was up in here yesterday.
And then she won't come back till Monday or Tuesday. And then my kids get all mad at me because I let her back in.
I hope you don't mind me asking you personal questions, but is it possible she's seeing somebody else and she stays there?
Oh, for sure she is. She's been, that's another thing. That's why we fight all the time. She's been seeing somebody for about 5 years now. And she don't pay our bills.
Nice. Oh yeah, the regulars. There's always the regulars that come in, you know. There's not really any new people that come in unless I'm like playing zombies.
How serious the situation had become, or how tragically wrong their
Has it been getting warm? Oh yeah, it's fucking 9 degrees right now.
The book when you found it, right there. Okay. And you recognized her handwriting?
Yes.
Okay.
It's unmistakable.
Okay.
9 degrees Celsius.
I mean, you guys are arguing about her seeing somebody, or were you guys arguing about lots of stuff?
Well, that always comes into play, but this particular argument was about her not paying my mortgage for 6 months. I give her all my money. I just cash my check and she pays all the bills.
Rocky just jumped up off my lap.
Hey Keith, did he get
Got nice space now.
We've been physical a couple times, but I want to say Saturday night, no.
You know, this is a fair question. Is there any chance that you hurt her in any way?
I fucking hope not, dude. I fucking hope not. But yeah, there's a possibility. I mean, I'm hoping not, but like I said, I don't remember shit. Me and Amber go through this shit all the time, and she always comes back.
Okay.
The only thing I'm worried about is she always goes to her fucking...
Is Rocky staying out of trouble? Nah, this little motherfucker's been getting into
Listening
trouble.
carefully to Keith's account,
Not
the
really,
officer
but,
initially
you know.
found him credible as he described an argument about money and Amber's alleged infidelity. But the officer's concern grew when Keith admitted he'd been heavily intoxicated and couldn't remember if things turned physical. Suddenly,
Rocky's always a good boy.
the possibility that Amber had
Always staying out of
actually
trouble.
walked away became disturbingly real. Officers now suspected more clues were hidden inside the home. A drunken fight, maybe getting physical. Whatever happened, the answers were likely somewhere inside.
You gave me permission. I have it on my body camera. Recorded it. Okay. He gave me full permission to look in the house. So. Are these guys?
They let them out.
Are they generally friendly?
Normally, yes.
Okay, good.
Oh, kill him.
Just 'cause, you know.
Kill him.
Did we look in there?
It doesn't open.
It doesn't look
Whoop.
like it's been disturbed because there's debris on the top of it, but we want to work on opening it?
Yeah.
Bam, baby. Look at that. Just fucking immaculate.
As officers continued their search, their body language indicated something was off. Careful not to alarm the family, neither officers openly acknowledged it yet, but they both recognized the unmistakable stench hanging in the air, the odor of decay. At this point, the only thing they were looking for was the source of that disturbing smell.
Damn, man. My stomach is growling right now. Gonna take Rocky for a walk in a bit. I've been taking Rocky over. There's like a little park near my house. I've been taking him over there, letting him off the leash, and it's hilarious. You know, he has this whole like giant like football stadium sized field to run around, and he just follows me.
Do we want to call someone? Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
he just follows me around.
okay. Yeah. We'll have you stay inside, please.
She's in there.
Inside the trash can in the garage was a gun, and underneath that was Amber's decaying body with a gunshot wound to the head, discarded with the rest of the garbage. This was now a crime scene, and police immediately began to suspect that this was far from self-inflicted.
But when I searched the house, my fear was, something funky. I looked in that trash bin.
Okay.
There was nothing in it.
Well, when was that? When did?
I was here about 9 a.m.
Okay.
There was not. I would have noticed that.
Okay.
Are you sure about that, Becky?
And because of the smell, I literally
I'm just gonna
too
stay
many
here.
forensic files.
I think Becky's just upset that she didn't realize it sooner.
Okay.
And the kids are sleeping and they are unaware of it.
Okay.
But so somebody
Okay.
did that.
Okay.
I don't know, Becky.
Ready?
Uh-huh.
Or Betty.
Ron, can you get the kids and just go wait in your house?
Strangely, although Betty had noticed the same foul odor of decay earlier, she didn't realize its implications, instead believing, or perhaps choosing to believe, that all this concern was simply because of the firearm police discovered in the trash can. Betty didn't know it yet, but her statement would soon cast serious suspicion on her, making detectives question whether she herself had played a role in Amber's death.
That's
For
what
now,
I'm
though,
saying.
Officers had to secure the area.
Like, how do you look in
move
there
the
and not
first
know?
family
You
away
know what I
from the
mean? Like,
gruesome
what?
scene.
Doesn't make sense.
I don't want the kids to see.
I mean, this isn't missed. So if you lift here, I mean, obviously there's a gun there. But if you
Oh,
lift here,
no,
you can see
son of a
that
bitch.
She weighs about 160.
Bro,
170 pounds.
I can fucking click so much more accurate when I leave my mouse on my like table. but it's just like hurts my arm after a while.
So
always play
I
on the
told
side
him,
of my
he's calling
fucking.
to you, and I know he sent you too.
Always play on the
officers
side of my
waited for the
chair.
Major Crimes Unit to arrive and process the scene for forensic evidence. They began to grapple with several troubling inconsistencies surrounding Amber's family. Keith had admitted to being heavily intoxicated the night Amber disappeared. He couldn't say for certain whether his argument with Amber had
I don't know,
turned
Keith's
violent,
pretty
only that
suspect.
things had gotten heated, and that much of the night was a blur. But Keith wasn't the only one officers considered a suspect. Amber's mother, Betty, claimed she had checked the trash can earlier that morning and had seen no sign of Amber's body or the gun. Yet, just hours
These
later,
three little cocksuckers following me over here.
in plain sight, exactly where she swore she'd already searched. Even stranger to officers was Betty's demeanor. Despite the horrifying situation unfolding around her and the possibility that her daughter had taken her own life, she remained unusually calm, at times even casual. And then there was the note. Supposedly written by Amber, its wording struck investigators as strange, too composed, almost performative. Still, in a situation as dark and desperate as contemplating suicide, people sometimes write in ways that defy logic or expectations.
I don't know, I think it
At this
was
point,
Keith.
everyone's stories seemed suspiciously incomplete, and anyone could be responsible in the eyes of detectives. Investigators started realizing that Amber's murder might be far more complicated than they initially thought.
Maybe it was both of them.
So, to investigate these disturbing possibilities, police knew they'd soon need to sit down with Amber's family and carefully interview each member to uncover who might be hiding something. But before doing that, officers needed to finish one crucial step: a final, thorough search of the Zotto home.
Zotto.
Any signs of violence
It's a cool
or attempted
name.
cover-up. And
I like
sure
that,
enough,
Zotto.
it didn't take long before they started noticing blood spatter throughout the house.
So a lot of these carpet pieces, I wonder if it's
I
like
think
a
it was
whole
Keith.
or yeah, I didn't see like spatter.
I know, right?
So the book was right here. There was space open with the last page showing, and that bill was on top of it. No red pen.
I don't know.
Jet blood on the light switch.
Jesus.
We've got a lot of blood on the sink.
Yeah, so we left, I mean, we left it the way we found it as well, too. You know, the way the door was when we searched. But yeah, she found a little bit of obvious blood in the kitchen and the sink as well, too, so.
Within minutes, officers found clear evidence that something violent had occurred before Amber's
Top
body ended up in the
37.
trash can.
Kill this guy
Their
over
first
here.
sign that foul play was likely involved. Additionally, the Major Crimes Unit documented critical forensic evidence, including the silver revolver found over Amber's concealed body, blood spatter around the trash can, and debris deliberately placed to hide her remains. Despite these findings pointing towards foul play, detectives still needed clarity on whether Amber's death was a premeditated act or the result of a heated argument that spiraled violently out of control. But they had two major issues preventing them from answering this crucial question. First, Keith was nowhere to be seen, and his phone had gone completely unreachable.
Oh, I think I found the culprit.
Most important, detectives had yet to determine exactly who was responsible, because at this point, several people remained under suspicion, including Amber's mother and even her own children. Police didn't know it yet, but in the coming
Come on,
hours,
die,
these
motherfucker.
questions would be fully answered.
There's no way
and
homeboy
the
didn't
case
die
would
right there.
take a completely unexpected turn.
Ain't no way.
So, to fill in these
I
gaps,
could've-
all of Amber's
yeah.
closest family members were transported to the police station for questioning. Detectives hoped they could uncover each member's potential motives, credibility, and who was hiding secrets. And
I could have
finally,
potentially just
who
not
might
ate and like
actually
moved over
be
to this side and still
responsible
killed him.
for
But
Amber's murder.
I don't want to falsely alarm you, but I also believe in being as honest as we can with loved ones.
286.
We may have found Amber.
No.
Yeah, but we're not completely sure yet, Ron.
Just do it. do it.
We're not pointing fingers or making accusations at this time, but is there any reason Keith would hurt her?
I don't know. I really don't. I wish I could tell you more. I don't.
Either accidentally or intentionally, would he hurt or kill her? If he were to mistreat her, would she protect him?
She probably would.
So I went out there and I seen the letter, or it was a 4.5-page note. And it's very important. I looked in that trash bin.
Okay.
It had an ungodly trash odor, honestly. But I tried to, there's some carpet squares were on the top. I tried to lift up, make sure there was nothing under it. Not that, I don't know what I was expecting, but I did. So I absolutely looked in that bin. I thought that'll be important. And didn't see anything, and I went out.
Let's talk a little bit about, I guess, the fighting and do you know why?
Yeah, I do know why.
Holy fucking
like,
stack of damage.
Good at it, I guess, and like so he finds out, and then they just go at it because she like tries to lie about it.
Okay.
Like he has evidence of her doing it, and so like it's like, yeah.
Okay. And the last Saturday is in just a couple days ago?
Yeah, last Friday was the last time I seen her.
Okay. Did you talk to her at all on the phone or anything?
No, she came over for dinner because my grandma was cooking dinner, and she came over and we had dinner, and then she left,
and then you were there
from
Saturday.
Friday all the way to Sunday.
Okay.
After speaking with Amber's family, investigators
There we go.
finally had some clarity. Betty remained adamant she'd checked that trash can that morning, insisting the gun and Amber's body weren't there, which made her case seem more suspicious. Meanwhile, Amber's father, Ronald, was shocked by his daughter's
Ronald
death and
fucking
found it was hard to
McDonald.
believe Keith was capable of harming her. As for Amber's children, Annabelle explained they'd both been staying at their grandparents' house during the weekend, clarifying why they didn't hear the gunshot that ended their mother's life. However, Annabelle's unusual calmness and detailed awareness of her parents' unstable marriage raised some concerns about exactly what else the children might know or could still be protecting. After concluding the interviews, investigators were preparing to search for Keith Zotto, the one critical piece still missing. But just before they could act, they received unexpected news from Keith's sister, Susan Ross. It turns out Keith had visited her just hours earlier, and what he confessed would finally expose the horrifying truth behind Amber's murder.
I saw my brother park up there, and so I got the dogs out. And I didn't know the front door was open, and he just came in, and I seen it on his face, and he goes, "You know, I don't hate you." That was the first thing out of his mouth. And I said, "I know, I love you. You're my best friend."
Okay.
And then I said, "It's Amber that's trying to keep us apart."
Okay.
And he just looked at me, started crying, and I said, "Oh my God, what'd you do?"
Okay.
And I asked him if Amber was okay. And then he looked at me and he said, "You know what? I don't remember anything.
Okay.
I just remember waking up and seeing her on the ground."
Okay.
I asked him what the hell happened to tell me what he did.
Okay.
He said they had been drinking and fighting all night.
Okay.
It was over money, I guess. Keith opened some bills and found out that the house had been foreclosed on.
Okay.
And then Amber pulled out the gun and he hit my brother with it. And then Keith said he took it away. And it just happened like that. He said he blinked his eyes and that was it. He said I blinked my eyes too, and I opened them and I seen her on the ground.
Susan's testimony finally cleared up everything for investigators. Keith himself admitted he'd woken up from a blackout to find Amber dead and openly acknowledged a violent confrontation that spiraled completely out of control. It was now clearer than ever that Keith Zotto was at the heart of Amber's murder, and it was time to track him down. Just a couple of hours after detectives left Susan's house, Aurora police received a call they never expected. Keith Zotto had surfaced at his sister's house again, ready to surrender. By now, officers knew Keith had already killed once, and for all they knew, he was still armed and dangerous. So they came prepared. A SWAT team
Oh,
descended
they
upon
have the
location,
fucking
ready
murder
to
weapon.
take Keith down if he made even the slightest wrong move.
It's gotta be up one more.
You know what I mean?
Right? 7-9. 7-9 is this one. All right. Sorry. Ready? Watch out, Bubba. Show me your hands! Front door. Ma'am, come to me. I see him. I see him. Come to me.
Come on out. Turn right.
Point to me. Come to me.
I got a guy out.
Hands up. Everybody hands up, please. Very good. Walk to my voice. Go hands on.
Stop. Just shoot. Just walk towards me. Nice and easy. Okay? All right. We'll talk to you in a... No, we're not. We're not going to hurt him. Okay? Walk towards me. No. Just keep walking. Walk towards this guy.
Very good. You good, man. Very good. Very good. Very good. Right here. There you go. This guy right there, man. Yes, sir.
Long guns. Yeah, feel free to go ahead of me here.
It all looks normal.
Bro, if you just want to hold on, I'll be back with you.
Is that your mom, and who else is the other lady? Gotcha. Okay, man. Very good. We appreciate you coming out, bud. We'll explain it all to you, okay? Okay, buddy. Okay. Okay, there you go.
Remember,
Finally, after hours of uncertainty, Keith Zotto surrendered to Aurora police without incident. He was immediately taken into custody and formally processed for the murder of his wife, Amber. Keith would go on to admit to killing Amber late Saturday night, claiming his gun accidentally went off during a drunken argument over money and infidelity. Though he
Makes
insisted
sense.
he couldn't remember placing her body in the trash or concealing the crime, Keith accepted responsibility for her death. However, Betty's earlier statement surrounding the infamous trash can remained unclear, and investigators were never able to determine why she didn't see the gun or Amber's body that morning. In May of 2021, Keith Zotto was found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole.
Damn. My man got cooked. Okay, quiet. Jesus. My man got cooked with the life sentence.
Before being a multiple-time All-Star, a league MVP, and World Series champion with the Chicago Cubs, Kris Bryant started his career like many exceptional MLB players, a highly touted prospect. Back in 2015, Kris Bryant was the team's #1 prospect, as well as the second best overall in all of MLB. Bryant had an outstanding career at the University of San Diego, where he set the school's all-time records in home runs, runs scored, and slugging percentage, all of which stand to this day. His resume attracted the attention of MLB scouts, and he was taken second overall in the 2013 MLB draft. He quickly showed that minor league baseball was child's play, hitting 9 home runs while slashing the following stat line in just 36 games across 3 levels in his first professional season. The following season was even better. In 2014, Bryant slashed 325, 661, and 1098 while slugging a ridiculous 43 home runs and driving in 110 runs across Double and Triple A. So in spring training the next year, many people assumed it would be a slam dunk conclusion that Bryant would be promoted to the major leagues to start the season. His performance in camp surely warranted this, as he hit 9 home runs, batted .425, and slugged .1175 in 14 spring training outings. Despite this, Bryant started the season in AAA. Instead, the team named Mike Olt, who had a career .159 batting average up to that point, as a team's starting third baseman. Head scratching, to say the least. Bryant was clearly the team's best hitter throughout camp, and showed he was simply too good to be kept in the minor leagues. But after the Cubs started the season with a relatively pedestrian 5-3 record, Bryant was finally called up to the big leagues. He went on to have one of the best rookie seasons in league history, clubbing 26 home runs, driving in 99 RBIs, and hitting to a 275 average to post a 5.4 wins above replacement, which was third on the team. He was named an All-Star, placed 11th in NL MVP voting, and unanimously won the NL Rookie of the Year award. Additionally, according to sales on MLB's official website, Bryant had the best-selling jersey in all of baseball during the 2015 regular season. But what if I told you that because Bryant did not start the season on the Major League roster, he was screwed out of millions of dollars? Well, not exactly. Bryant is no longer on the Cubs, and his current team, the Colorado Rockies, is paying him pretty handsomely right now at $26 million annually for the next 4 seasons. But yeah, if we are looking at his standing after 2015, yeah, he absolutely was cheated out of some money. Let me introduce this concept called service time. MLB operates on a system where players with at least 6.000 years of MLB service time can enter free agency. In other words, they need at least 6 years in the league to enter the open market. Players from this past offseason, such as Juan Soto, Gleyber Torres, Corbin Burns, and William Adames, were all first-time free agents after accruing the required 6 years. But here's the catch. Quote, a player is deemed to have reached 1 year of Major League service time upon accruing 172 days in a given year, end quote. In the MLB calendar, there are 187 days, and a player accrues service time for each day he is on the Major League Club's active roster or the injured list. So for each day of service, they receive 0.001 years. One important thing to note here is what comes into play with top 2 Rookie of the Year finishes. If a player finishes in the top 2 in Rookie of the Year voting, he will be awarded a full year of service, regardless of whether he started the season on the active roster or not. For example, last year's NL Rookie of the Year Paul Skeens didn't make his big league debut until May 11th, more than a month after the season had started. But by winning the Rookie of the Year award, he automatically received a full year of service time. But back in 2015, this clause wasn't in place. As mentioned before,
Okay,
despite
that's
Bryant's
new, that's
outstanding
why.
Rookie of the Year campaign, he wasn't awarded a full year of service time. This is because he was only on the roster for 171 days out of a possible 187. Had he been on the roster for one more day, he would have qualified for this under the old rules. Thus, he entered the following season with 0.171 years of service time. Understandably frustrated, Bryant and his representation filed a grievance against the Cubs for delaying his call-up to the major leagues to manipulate his service time. The case went without a hearing for the next several years, and it finally concluded in January 2020 with the arbitrator ruling against Bryant. As a result, Bryant was not awarded his full year. So what's the problem here? Well, we see a classic example of service time manipulation. But what is service time manipulation? Service time manipulation refers to tactics and strategies that baseball team executives use to prevent players from becoming eligible for.
Can you watch that guy that has a show and they call him? Yeah, I watched it this morning. I did a stream earlier this morning, but I'll watch it again after this for sure.
Extending a club's control on that player for more than 6 seasons. This was also practiced on World Series
I
MVP
will,
George
for
Springer
you,
and
Thug
superstar
Duck.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in their first season in the big leagues. And while neither finished top 3 in Rookie of the Year voting, they spent a significant amount of time on the Major League roster and produced very respectable stats in their first year. But because they weren't on the roster for at least 172 days, they didn't get the full year of service, thus delaying their arbitration negotiations and free agency. And since a player needs at least 6 years of service to become a free agent, this is a big deal. I'll go through a breakdown of the players' salaries through their first 6 seasons in the league. This is of course assuming that they don't sign any long-term extension or contract prior to when they become free agents. In their rookie year, they received the minimum salary. For 2025, this was set at $760,000. In the next season, they receive a raise, typically around 5 to 10%.
Kill this fucking goofball. Kill him.
They receive
Kill him.
another raise, this
There we
time
go.
around $1 million. After completing at least 3 years of service time, they enter what's known as arbitration. This is a 3-year period where the team and player negotiate on how much the player should be paid. During arbitration, salaries can vary widely depending on performance. Elite players like Juan Soto in 2024 with the
Stavi, eldest, got a bit of a dilemma as far as the workplace goes. I work on a yacht with a crew of 4 people. I'm the first mate, and my buddy is the captain. His fiance is the chef, and they've been together for about 15 years, and they're going to be married later this year. And they just hired a stewardess, this young lady, who quickly after getting hired, she started making those googly eyes at the captain, and eventually the captain came up to me and confided in me that he started hooking up with this stewardess. and told me that I was the only one that he was going to tell. So now I'm in a moral conundrum because
You can't be putting that pressure on people, boys.
tell the fiance, the chef, about what's going on. Since I'm the only one that knows, the captain will know.
People crack.
And will probably fire me, which I would hate because this is a lucrative job. I love what I do for a living. But on the other hand, I can't keep looking this lady in the eyes knowing that I'm keeping a huge secret from her.
Hey, bro, you being pussy, bro. I don't like this guy. And he sound like he work on a boat.
Come on, dude. What are we talking about here? This isn't your sister. This isn't like...
Are you out your mind,
And it's
bro?
your friend. It's your friend.
Law of the sea, man.
You love... The job is easy. He's a captain of a yacht. Like, it's... First of all, this is crazy on his part to be fucking an employee when you're on, like, a 7-person staff with your fiance. Now, here's the reason you... Like, just for self-preservation, you can't say anything. But also, it really... It comes down to, like, the mind your business, like, general, like, theory here. Where it's like, this... You don't want to get mixed up in this. You don't know how it's going to go. It's not like you say something and she's like, thank you so much. First of all, he hasn't told anybody else, right? So, he could deny it. And then she probably believes her fucking fiance over you. You get fired either way. And then the other thing is, let's say he gets caught and he says, well, he knew this whole time. First of all, who gives a fuck? Second of all, you could lie and say, no, I didn't. He didn't tell anybody else. Who fucking cares? This isn't your fucking business at all. Of course it sucks, but it's also your job is at stake here. Does your livelihood matter less? Then
Just don't say anything about it, mind your business, and keep it. Yeah, dude, exactly. Like, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, like, it sucks. Don't get me wrong. I would feel bad.
And keep your job by not saying anything? Yeah, I'm 100% on that. It sounds like the guy's got a sick job, so.
If he was a gentleman, he would quietly fuck this woman without involving you in this, right?
It's not captain-like behavior.
That's not. No. He's put his. No, he is not going down with his ship. He's trying to bring you down with him. Yeah. You're trying to go for the lifeboat. He's like, come on, man. Let's just chill.
Another perspective, bro. It's just if I could jump in.
No, of course.
Bro, the man took 15 years to marry this lady. You think she don't know that he getting side coochie? She knows.
Sounds like I'm much louder than the video.
You think she's just quietly chopping scallions over there in the kitchen the whole time?
Oh,
She's
you gotta
observing
think deeper
everything.
than this, bro. They've been together 15 years on a boat. He's been fucking the stewardess.
How's that?
Some women are okay with that. She cooking. She got a boat. She all right, bro.
You never know. That's exactly why I say mind your business, because you don't know what else is going on here. You don't know what their rhythm is. You don't know.
That chick could be fucking the stewardess too.
To gain from this. Your friend put you in a fucking weird position. Yeah. But come on, man. The only downside is you have trouble looking her in the eyes.
You fuck her too.
Yeah, try and fuck her. Try and fuck one or both of these women. Who cares? But like, you can't.
We've all seen Below Deck. They make it work. Like, people are a mess.
But yeah, bro, you can't. This is just, especially the fact that you love your whole like. Now look, I'm also, it's the morally, I guess, on some planet. This is the absolute, if you were like a priest or something, this is the moral thing to do. But you love your job. You're going to blow up your entire life because your friend is a scumbag and is make you feeling a little guilty. It's crazy, dude. Then you become part of the collateral damage of this guy getting pussy. And by the way, he's going to be fine. Yeah. He'll still be captain. Like, there's no, if anyone is the enemy, it's kind of him for forcing this on you.
Yeah, exactly.
Just fucking let it go, dude. Who cares?
Yeah, just laugh and get it over with.
Yeah, he disappointed me, man.
Yeah, I know.
Also think about if you let this out, think about where that news comes out. On a yacht, on the sea. Like that chaos.
Who knows
in
what
that
happens.
situation that you're stuck with each other.
Yeah, dude.
Could get ugly.
No, it could get ugly. It's a fucking stupid idea.
Don't Don't kill me. Oh, bro, come on. Don't be doing me like that.
What's up, Stab, eldest, esteemed guest?
You throw something.
So, what's up, Stab, eldest,
the anger.
esteemed guest? So, a little context before I get into the meat of this situation, but essentially, me and my college buddies, it's been a couple years since we graduated, kind of went our own ways, drifted apart a little bit, live in different cities, until my one friend started inviting us to his family gatherings, his beach house, and stuff like that.
Okay.
And so, give us
We've
a
heard
little
this.
opportunity to all.
Heard this one.
So I'm a teaching assistant for a professor at my art college. I don't want to tell you too many details. I'm pretty sure that I've got some people in these classes that are watching this show. And why wouldn't they? This show fucking rules.
Thank you.
But yeah, I work for this professor, but lately he's kind of been spending a lot of time trying to woo the married other person that's working in the art department, and it takes up all of his time. He is never there for any of the supervisor meetings. He's just completely blowing off classes to try to fuck this married girl.
Pause
And
this
it's
for a
it
second.
drives me up.
That's
What a legend.
We'll get back to your actual question, but I am shocked he's not fucking a student.
Oh, good point.
Art professor.
Good point. This
Art
guy's a hero.
professor. It's for sure. I thought he's fucking students.
That's why I thought this was going. He's fucking my friend.
Trying to coax someone into committing adultery, but just let's keep it going.
Good point.
Married girl. And it's it drives me up the fucking wall because he does shit have her pick him up and drop him back off really late at night by the sculpture studio. And I'm just what are you doing, man? And why do I have to fucking see it, you know?
Yeah.
And why is it eating in so much into you trying to help me? You know, it's just it really pisses me off. I don't really know what to do about it. It's just it just bothers me a lot. And sometimes I'll call him on it. I will. I'll be
Her calling him on it, it's just hey.
You're wow, you're spending a lot of time with this person. Wonder what's going on there. Oh, you have another little rendezvous last night?
Yeah.
And he gets really defensive and upset in a way that a guilty person would be. So yeah, I don't know. What the fuck?
Guilty of what, though?
The professor I work for.
Having a wife?
There with someone to the point where he can't do his fucking job, and I'm having to pick up all the pieces for him because both him and the woman he's having an affair with are both my professors. So it's
Yeesh.
I feel really stuck. I feel really annoyed. I feel very grossed out and betrayed in some ways.
Well, that's on you.
It's
Yeah.
I don't know. His work that I initially cared about a lot, he doesn't seem to really give a fuck about it anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
These are important. These are
I
honestly
mean-
very important lessons for you to learn. This is what the world's like.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the most cliche. Don't meet your hero. You are in.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Don't meet your hero.
We're all,
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Artists, and it is, and you meet people who you did maybe you looked up to something, or you find out, and this happens to me too, where it's
Hello?
I mean, I've definitely made stuff that really matters to people that I didn't care about.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Or the things people latch onto. When you create something, you put it out into the world, and it's people have experiences with it. They attach meaning to it, and you're somebody who's being shaken of kind of youthful delusion in the real, in real time.
Good point.
And this is, by the way, what artists are like. And
Yeah.
college professors and artists. You want people who are. I can't think of two adults that behave like children more. It's you just are allowed to be, especially as an artist who has some. If you have some success, you get away with acting like a fucking asshole.
Right. Look at Kanye.
Yeah.
Well, the guy's wife is naked.
Yeah. I think we're past him getting away with it. But yeah, it's sad as fuck. I mean, you're right though. I mean, 10 years ago, Kanye West was an artist I admired.
Of course.
The most, one of my favorite artists of all time. And now it's brutal what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, brutal. And it's part of that's mental illness, obviously, but that goes hand in hand. But being selfish, hyper-focused on certain things, that's kind of how you create good art. He might just be hyper-focused on getting slurped off by this lady.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the other reality: is like, yeah, this is what happens to people who work under powerful people. You spend a lot. You think it's going to be in a perfect world. They're good leaders that set you up for success, but more often than not, shit flows downhill. You know, it's like a lot of what working for someone is picking up the pieces, and it sucks that you have to realize this, and this is really fucking brutal. But I would just say
That was a pretty cool kill.
kind of use this to your advantage. You could like. You might be able to get something out of being the person who helps him through having an affair. Instead of like, there's no justice in the world, so let's start there. Like something will happen and he will be brought to justice and like, you know.
He might get caught. I mean, it usually happens.
He gets caught, right? But our friend who's calling in here, she's at school now, right? She's a TA for him. Is that what's going on? Yeah. So it's like he might get caught in a couple years. She'll be out of school. Like her experience is just right now.
Yeah.
Like that's the reality. Even justice when it's served doesn't fix going through something fucked up.
Yeah.
So you're somebody who's like a collateral damage victim of something that's fucked up. It's not going to change. And to her credit, she seems to sort of understand that, right? She's not asking for, she's just kind of like exasperated. She doesn't have like any, right? Like I read her.
She seems to be taking it pretty personally. She's like, it's really fucked up. It bothers me.
Yeah,
I'm ashamed for him and grossed out. So I think this lady's got to, I think she looked up to this writer professor guy. So maybe she's got to detach a little.
Yep.
And to piggyback off your point, I do think artists are fucked up, obviously, but we prop artists up. We're acting like plumbers and guys who drive bread trucks aren't fucking around on their wife or whatever. Everybody fucks around on their wife. Everybody fucks around on their husband. Everybody diddled a kid. Everybody drinks on the job. Everybody does drugs. Everybody steals from the self-checkout. So we're all fucked up, but we do prop these people. Oh my God, this guy said this. I looked at, he's such a great professor. You're like, he's just like a piece of shit too.
He's a guy. And you're right. But she's also in the classic. This is the most like finding out how the world works experience I've ever heard of. Like this is a movie right here.
Right.
It's like this is a loss of innocence coming of age story.
Yeah. That's fucking hilarious.
I just think. Yeah, what Mark says is true. It's like you shouldn't. Right? This guy is
Mark Vincent coming of age story.
Exactly.
Every artist, no matter how. Like that's another thing where we're lucky to have met pretty much every comedian. Like, yeah, it's cool. It's cool that this happened to us. But the thing you learn, and we've worked with a lot of great
dude, that's funny.
Legends. They're all just some guy.
Exactly.
They're all just some guy.
Right.
Everybody. Some lady, some dude, they're all fucking person. And yeah, what's important is you realize this is not the experience you thought it was going to be, but you're still working for him, right? Working for him's not what it's all cracked up to be, but there's still some prestige. The other thing is, this. A lot of the world doesn't know this, right? So the way they look at him hasn't changed. You can still get something out of being a person who worked for him. And also, there might be stuff, like, yes, this is not going to be the transformative experience with your art and learning under him that you wanted it to be, but there's still stuff to pick up, and you could also just kind of finesse this to where you're, like, you are sort of you kind of cover for, he kind of owes you one, like that stuff's not bad either.
Sure.
And I would say just look at it as if he had a fucking drug problem, or he had,
that's good,
or he was a drunk, or he was just like whatever. Like
this is his vice.
It's just like this is a vice that you can't do anything about, and all you can do is like
bitchin'
you are
man.
gonna pick up the pieces. It's gonna be annoying. You went into this thinking you were gonna have a great mentor, and it didn't happen, but there will be other mentors. I mean, I remember one time I opened for, I won't say who it was. I opened for somebody who I really respected. And, you remember, like we met when I opened for you back in the day. I kind of like this. I was used to good comics liking me. You know what I mean? I just made friends with good comics. And I started getting cocky and just thinking like, oh, you open for someone and you become friends with them. And they put you on the road. And, that's how I met Bobby, Papa, you, and Joe. Like, that's how I met a lot of my friends now. But I opened for one guy, and I was like, I want to fucking crush it. I want him to fucking respect me because good comics respect that.
Yeah.
And I even, dude, this is how fucking cocky I was. I was like I was on his website looking at like clubs he was going to soon.
I'll go to
and I was like, literally like, yeah, I don't know about this. Like, I'm just like, I'm like, it's my choice, you know?
Yeah. That's great.
And I crushed, and I'm like, holy fuck, this guy's gonna fuck. And not only that, and then like, you know, and I'm like, I'm gonna do my best shit, no fucking around, and like, you know, he was cool in the green room, whatever. And then he would like whisper shit in, like when I was, cause you know I was featuring, and then I would come off, he'd be standing there, and every time he was nice in the green room, whatever. In those little interactions where it's just me and him, he would be like, same stuff again. Huh?
Whoa.
Like saying shit like that.
I think I know who it is now.
And in my head, I was like, wow, this guy hates me. In hindsight, I think he was just like, I've also been there where it's like, you don't really want to take a gig. It's Magooby's joke house.
Right.
Maybe he hasn't. He's a very successful guy. He probably wasn't working on. And I've been there too, where I've been rusty on stand up and I'm not sharp.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing I want is like someone I'm hitting the NOS button trying to crush.
Yeah.
It was probably annoying to have to follow me, and it wasn't like, and artistically, I wasn't trying anything. I wasn't doing. I was just trying to kill, which is what I thought you should do.
I would have thought the same thing.
You know, but it turned a lot. Some people don't. So anyway, my point is, that was fucking weird to me because I had done nothing, but I was really lucky, and like, you know, some people were fucking rude to me, but they were literally drug at. Like a guy with a coke problem was mean to me, but you know, I knew him too. We later became friends. And I had bad experiences, but this was one where I was like, I respected the guy, and he said shit to me in a fucked up way that I couldn't even prove.
Come on, baby, come on.
And in fact, it was insidious because he was really nice in person, and just a private kind of like, you know, nobody knows this about this guy,
right.
And you're the one who has to fucking hold this in, and all I can say is like that sucked for me. I was lucky where I was like, all right, I'm just gonna like never see this guy again. But if I had to work for him, I would have just been like, all right, well, it's not what I thought it was going to be, but I'm sure I can pick some other stuff up, whatever. This sucks, but I can. The point is, you're right to feel annoyed. It sucks, but that's. Just get ready for more of this if you're working in the art world. I'll tell you that much.
Right.
You're not going to meet artists that cheat less. Successful male artists that don't fuck around.
Right.
That ain't happening, sister.
Love the podcast. You give such excellent advice.
Thank you.
So my question is, how do I ask out my mailman?
Oh, shit.
Context, I'm 36.
Respect.
And he seems to be around my age as well. Recently, when I was walking my dog, I was walking back into my driveway by my mailbox, and the mailman drove up, and he introduced himself and said it was his new route. I introduced myself. I said I moved in recently.
This guy doesn't work for the post office at all. He just scopes out lonely women.
You know how hard it was to find. It's so hard to find a white truck with the steering wheel on the right.
The mailman tied up behind the bushes.
He's committing like 6 or 7 Class A felonies just so new women.
All right.
I introduced myself. I said I moved in recently, and then he asked about my dog. And even though it was a quick interaction, his energy and vibe was so great, and I felt like there was a vibe and connection between us.
Oh my god.
Incredibly hot. So my question is, if you think I should ask him out and give him my number, or does that make me seem thirsty and pathetic? Like from a man's perspective, how does it come across when a woman asks out a man?
Oh, it's the best.
And if you think I should, how do I logistically do it, since it's hard to just be outside whenever he's in the area delivering mail? All right. Thank you so much, Stav. I love you.
Interesting.
All right, everyone here, raise your hand if you've ever had your mailman introduce himself to you. That's a big goose egg. 0 for 4.
You're so right, Jay. McDade, you maniac.
You right, bro.
Yeah.
He's into you.
Insane, bro.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, so look, there are some things we obviously have to address here. Funnily enough, on this very program, we've had a similar situation where guest of the show, Chloe Radcliffe, fucked the UPS guy.
Yeah.
And we tip our caps to her. However, that guy wouldn't leave her alone. Like he knew where she lived, and he kept trying to get pussy.
Oh, yeah.
And so there are some possible negatives here. Some of your fucking Amazon packages could start going fucking missing. You might get some jury duty notices you don't get. You know what I mean?
It's tough after it goes south with the mailman. You
Yeah.
see him pull up in front of your house, not even look over to the side, just open your mailbox door and shove the mail in and drive off. straight
Or
ahead.
he fucking see you open the door and throw it in your fucking face every day, bro. Oh, I didn't even consider that.
There
you
are
other people's junk mail on top of all of yours.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's very possible, is this guy a malicious guy? Who knows? You never know. This is a man who there's no guy who more knows where you live than your mailman. You know what I mean? So
he knows your zip code with the other 4 digits.
Yeah.
I don't like that this is his new route. He didn't even come a couple weeks, let it build up. He immediately like, hey, I'm.
Yeah.
Nah.
So I don't know. I mean, now look. If after
Depends on
all
the kind of
this
community
we're
they
dead
live
set
in.
on, trying to fuck your mailman, who are we to tell you not to? It doesn't come across as pathetic at all. It's the fucking best thing of all time.
It's great.
Anytime a woman does anything they're not expected to, whether it's like ask you out or like if you're hanging out and you're like about to make a move and a girl kisses you before, you're like, oh, this is fucking awesome. I was gonna do this, but you saved me like 3 minutes of being like, all right, let's wait till Family Guy goes to commercial, and then I grab a titty. You know what I mean? Like, if you can save a man anything that they have to, like, personally, I think it's a humongous bonus. It's not gonna come across as desperate. It's gonna come across as fucking awesome. So, just the next time you see it. Now, this is also kind of fun and quaint because it is like, you just have to see him in person. And so the next time, I wouldn't leave a note. I would there's no rush here. I would just kind of like, hang out. Hopefully you bump into him. If you see him, you could be like, how's the new route going along? McDade's right. No mailman has ever said, hey, I'm Frank to me in my life. So he probably is looking out for you. And you could just make a little small talk and at the end be like, I'm really enjoying talking to you. Would you like to go out for
I'm really enjoying the way you deliver mail.
Get in there. There's nothing else to it. Like we said, Chloe literally just asked the guy to fuck and he immediately did it. So you're not gonna, the amount of hoops you jump through is fully up to you. You know what I mean? So you're good, but this is good. And don't privatize, let's not privatize the post office. Let's give them pussy. This is what we need right now.
For sure.
Okay?
Yeah, I support
this is the way to do it. Like, this is a good job. And by the way, if we're privatization just means rich guys make things shittier to make more money. Yes, the post office loses money because it's a fucking service, you fucking idiots. Because, like, it costs money to get some dumb asshole in Montana a fucking package. But guess what? They need it too. So let's not let's not privatize. Let's suck them off. This woman is a fucking hero.
Wow. That's...
Yeah. Yeah, we're patriots around here.
Got a quick question for you about a sister-in-law of mine. Before I get to that, though, just wanted to real quick say it's an enormous pleasure to see your success unfold from the sidelines. It seems very well deserved. Good job, man. It's awesome to see.
I appreciate it.
Anyway, my life's a bit of a shit show in 2024. Getting divorced, wife cheated on me with my best friend, kind of shit. Can't really get into it. It's all up in the courts and shit.
Oh my God, in the
anyway,
courts.
Around the time it became public, within like my family that we're getting divorced, my sister-in-law, she started showing up, being like a real support and a friend. So like we've developed a bit of this friendship. you know, one time we were drinking, got a bit hammered. She confessed to me about some problems she's had in her marriage.
Oh, she's married.
You know, I kind of-
she's married too. The fuck,
Yeah, she's married.
Home wrecker over here.
Ex's sister.
I think.
No.
Just
Oh,
wait.
okay.
marriage.
Oh no.
You know, I kind of
Fuck 'em up.
commiserated, and it happened a few more times. Eventually, she kind of confessed her feelings for me to me.
Brother.
I'm not gonna say I have like no moral culpability here. I did,
Oh, thank you.
in one
for
way or
not
another,
saying
tell her that you know, under different circumstances, this is something that would maybe be interesting to me. I'm being very generous to myself in how I'm relating
Yeah,
this.
no shit.
But anyway, I guess the question is, what is like my moral responsibility to my brother here?
His brother.
I could give him a heads up, like, hey.
Your fucking brother, dude. I thought this was his ex's sister, which is like, I was about to be like, hey man, it ain't the cleanest thing, but this would be pretty funny. You almost get a pass to fuck your ex who cheat. You're gonna do a worse.
Man, he did so much damage right there.
This is your fucking brother, you fucking piece of shit.
You gotta pitch down his voice so he can't get traced. You gotta go into witness protection.
We need him to get.
Oh.
My God, I guess let's finish this, but Jesus Christ.
Oh shit! I literally have 1 HP. Holy fuck!
Like, hey, your wife's kind
That was gas. J-Ski.
Behaving this way, and definitely blow up their marriage, or I could just kind of sit on the sidelines and maybe things work out.
Jesus Christ, dude.
You know, if I'm not
good fucking God,
too receptive to the things that she says to me, I don't know, man.
If you're not too receptive,
it's a fucking bullshit situation.
It's not.
But yeah, let me know what you think about that.
Jeez.
Thanks, man. Again, really pleased to see
Really
the success
nice.
that you're enjoying.
I know what you're doing.
All right.
It's become clear what he's doing.
Hey, man.
Buttered me up and then ended with a compliment because I was about to fucking blow his ass up. And listen, as pleased as you are at my success, you're a piece of shit, man. You cannot behave this way. It's your fucking brother's wife?
Yeah.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
If any of you even thought of betraying my brother in this way,
Well, I don't know him, but it depends how hot his wife is, to be honest with you. I wouldn't want to cuck your brother, but if his wife was really hot and she tried to fuck me, I can't promise I wouldn't.
I just can't. Can I use the same math I was using earlier about hundreds of millions of people living in a city?
Yes, you can.
There are hundreds of millions, if not billions of trillions of people. And your brother's wife doesn't count as hundreds of millions of people in the world that you can have sex with.
You're out of your fucking mind. And I also
nothing sacred.
I love it too because she's like, all right, is it time to flip on this bitch and rat her out to my brother? That's how he's looking at it. It's not like, should I be a good fucking person? Stop. First of all, you can't speak to this woman ever again. I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah,
also,
you just gotta cut it off.
Also, she's complaining to you about her marriage.
Who's your brother?
Your brother?
Yeah.
Someone's talking shit. I mean, unless your brother's a piece of shit, you have a really bad relationship, but that doesn't really here's what it feels like. You're a weak man.
Yeah.
You're a weak little fucking slug of a man who, yes, your life got fucked up, and I'll give you that. I can see why the initial conversation, you were like hurt, your wife completely fucked you over, and you're at a very low point, right? I am even willing to give you one mulligan for not even immediately cutting it off, right? Not immediately being like, I'm willing to give you the fact that you're sad, but you knew what was going. Like, we all have been in these situations where it's somebody you really shouldn't, and there's that sprinkles a little something to it. So you're like, well, we're just friends. We're going out to lunch. It's not a big deal. And you can feel it when you're in that snowball, especially someone that doesn't get pussy. When you feel it happening, you're like, wait, something's off here. And then you, who you said it yourself, you're being a little generous when you're like, oh, in a different circumstance, maybe that's not what he said. He was like, if you were my brother's wife, I'd fuck you right here. Like, you probably said that. You know what I mean?
Right.
You gotta stop this, bro. And yes, you have to look within yourself to how you will get absolution for your sins. Right. I mean, this is fucking crazy.
I'm confused as to how they're spending so much time together alone. Like,
Yeah, I mean-
they get in a fight, and then she's like, I'm going to go hang with your brother all night.
Oh, shit, what am I doing?
Like, what's going
Well,
on?
your brother's probably like, well, that's my brother. There's no way anything could possibly be going on.
Yeah.
I agree with you, but at the same time, that is a missing piece here. I know you're making. There's no way it could possibly be going on, but it's like, even if I was having a really hard time,
right?
And one of my sister-in-laws took me out to lunch and we talked it over, right?
Right.
That'd be normal. If we had lunch every day, that'd be fucking weird. And even if it's even if there is nothing, even if you don't suspect anything like this level, it would be weird to see your sister-in-law this much absent. Now it'd be different if they're coming over as a couple, and it's like your family is coming to support you, but something is off in general.
He's not saying he's.
Yeah, give me a minute, all right?
He's not asking, should I act on this, right? He's just saying.
All right.
But at the same time, it's like, even asking that question, it's like
I know
what
he's not.
you do is stop talking to her.
Of course.
Just back away.
Yeah, and yeah, dude, completely stop talking to her.
It does sound like theoretically he has no plans of following through and fucking her.
Right.
But even just I mean,
he's also
wrong part.
very weirdly particular about the way he's saying things. So
he's giving himself the option.
They could have done something, and he.
Hey, just relax.
So? But I also,
my little man, just relax.
Moment in time, he's like, well, obviously.
Come here.
But there
Here.
was probably a moment in time
Here
where
we
he
go.
was like, well, obviously, I'd never tell her I have any feelings for her. That's
All right, boys, ladies, and gents, I am out of here for now. I'll be live later tonight, killing Zulrah some more. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Helps me out. Appreciate y'all. I'll be live probably around noon. Peace.